Welcome back to the Open at Austin. This is Gatekeeper Media's coverage of our Round 1 feature card, and this is the back 9. I'm Andrew Fish, joined by Nathan Queen.
Yes, and we got to see some interesting things on the front 9. Lots of difficult holes to score on, some odd shapes, lots of wind causing that as well, and totally par front 9 from Fredy Meza, not something that you see really ever.
No, and that still has him in 21st place. Pretty ambitious design that this leadership crew has put together, and the scores are reflecting how challenging it is to manage.
Yeah, you see right here, top of the leaderboard at 3 down through 9 holes.
On hole 10, we're going to face an out-of-bounds carry over some shul, and then a green that is right exactly where you would want to land a skip shot. There's also out-of-bounds left, and you could go long in theory. Left to right crosswind and tailwind here makes it difficult to pull your disc all the way back across. But Fredy hugging the line. Inbounds.
And like you said earlier on the front 9 coverage, unlike Vegas, a lot of this has kind of a sandy base, so although you hit that green, you will get some skip. You're not going to get that big skip that you usually expect to see from ball golf greens.
McBeth with something very overstable. This looks like I think Halo Destroyer from Heimburg. I think I'm kind of surprised to see the lower line drives, which would be reliant on that skip rather than airing it out high. Heimburg gets a little bit of a roll out, but does check up inbounds in circle 2.
Yeah, I think they may be going with those lower shots. Looks like a little bit of a headwind left to right. If you get it up too high, it could kind of stall out onto that green. Simon getting a similar roll to Calvin, but curls back around a little quicker, going to be inside circle 1.
Wow. Very similar look and direction to the previous putt he had on hole 9 that he did make a good effort at. This one, high right side, good cash.
Yeah, now we're making some putts. That's the first big putt I think we've seen of the round so far. Hopefully that can get some things going. And Fredy, tired of the all-par card, gets on the back 9, cards his first birdie of the round, moves him up 10 spots just with that one birdie.
Whoa. Wind catches that for Simon. I really like how efficient Fredy's game is. He's not doing anything that, that would really blow you away the way any of the other players on the card can with distance. But just like you can see, he's comfortable playing in the wind as a Texas boy.
Yeah, and we've got 3 birdies on the card. Moving into hole 11, 335-foot par 3 with a couple different gaps to choose from. There's more than 2, but I'd say there's really 2 that you're trying to hit. You've got the righty backhand hyzer between the 2 leaning trees, right there where Fredy went, and then there's a slightly larger gap over on the left side. The main thing here, though, is don't go deep, and you really want to make sure you land in line with the basket.
Absolutely. It's very jungle back there. As fresh as this course is, it hasn't had the time to beat in. And I would say if you have the forehand, it's a much better play today, because it's more likely to check with the wind. We saw Fredy throw a good shape, but just keep running to that left side.
And Paul used that wind well. He's going to have back-to-back birdies now. Wow. And too much speed there for Calvin. I'm surprised to see him go with such a fast disc. He is in the circle, I believe, but real thick back there. Going to be finicky for the putt.
And I'm not a liar. Like,
Weird.
That's 3 examples of discs coming in pretty nicely and then just running hard to the left. Wow, from Simon, though.
What? He just needed some trees in the way to make sure he didn't pull it right.
Per Gatekeeper policy, there aren't rewinds for inside the circle, but I sneakily want to see both of these happen.
Oh, man. Calvin made it, too. Look at all those trees. All right. We do have some putting going now on the back 9. I'm excited to get to watch this. Let's see if Fredy can keep it up. Not quite, but 2 holes in a row. 3 birdies on the card.
Hole 12, our first par 4 in quite a while. We're going to throw over this creek, but that's not really in play. There is out of bounds to the right, and then there's a peanut of out of bounds that's kind of the backside of the landing zone. You need to clear this green, and then there's out of bounds left, right, and long of the elevated basket. Forehands are going to be the most popular play off the tee in order to match the shape of the fairway a little bit. But it's a pretty specific landing zone in order to set up the second shot.
Oh, and that has found the peanut. Got a little too aggressive with the forehand and flattened it out. Like you said, pretty specific spot. If you go much farther than 350 or so, you could be in OB danger.
Fortunate tree for Heimburg. That looked like it had right side all over it. Simon's still electing not to throw forehands. That may be residual from his injury last year. So the more complicated backhand turnover will leave him about 380 into the green.
And a very awkward looking lie. Those little barriers around the trees are not OB, so he doesn't get any relief from that. Gonna have to try to figure out a standstill or to step over as Fredy. A nice little, maybe some local Texas love there.
Yeah, he's from Houston, about 3 hours away, but definitely been grinding it out in all the Texas tournaments for a couple years now. Heimburg State with that OB just delayed by a shot. And Paul, this looks like a force. You definitely want to be swinging your shot from left to right. There's a lot more room to work with over there. You called it, Nathan.
Yeah, he is. Oh, man, look at that. You see him kind of slow step over those bricks right there and just throws a beautiful shot. Ends up just outside the circle, but that had to feel pretty strange for him. I'd like to ask him about that.
Pretty good forehand there. Still about 40, 45 away. And this is a very well-placed green. Like, even if you skirt the backside of it, you're still well outside the circle, but if you're not in position off the tee, your second shot is darn near impossible.
Fredy just a bit low again for the birdie. Still clean though, 1 down. And I think it's about this point in the round for these guys that it's not a constant 20-mile-an-hour wind anymore. You may get some gusts, but it is starting to subside a little bit.
Wow, what a save from McBeth. Only throws 3 times on the hole, gonna card the par. And you see he's hanging on there in second place.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier on, a lot of what could have beens on that so far.
Lizotte glides it in. He'll pick up the birdie. And I got to imagine, Nathan, that this hole 12 wasn't giving that many for just for being 660.
Yeah, it has given more than a lot of the rest of the course.
I just think the plastic is very premium.
I think it's the quality of plastic.
It's unlike any other plastic that you'll find in the industry.
It's something I can consistently trust.
You're gonna wanna put multiple discs in your bag.
You can only say so much where they have to eventually just try it themselves and see.
Yeah, 23% able to birdie hole 12, and that brings us into hole 13. Back to a par 3, 352 feet. There is an OB green. Shouldn't come into play too much, but that OB on the right side is what can really come into play. Lots of uphill here, so playing closer to the 420 mark.
And this roller is viable. You do have to manage the crosswind, and Simon pushes long. He's going to have about a 40-foot comeback putt into the headwind.
Well, they've been getting these putts warmed up on the back nine.
Good shape here from McBeth. It does need to lift, and that's in circle 2 at best.
Yeah, as soon as the Anheuser angle got over on that, it just got packed down to the ground.
Fredy tests the right side OB initially, but stable enough to flex out, and that'll give him another birdie opportunity. This looks like an eagle out of Heimburg. Maybe something a little faster and more overstable. But wow, does cut through the right side out of bounds.
That's pretty nice there, able to sneak through that.
Yeah, I think
McBeth.
Wow, McBeth.
Look at that.
Going. Look at this. Good hip drive, good extension, and the kick for emphasis.
Yeah, great putt there. Close to circle 2's edge, uphill. Probably putting about 80 feet. We saw him make an 80-footer or so at Waco last week. Does it again here. Simon looking to back it up.
Wow.
Just floats it. Uses that safer, quote unquote, kind of softer spin putt back into this headwind. Just absolute drop off behind the basket. Able to nail it. Card the turkey. 3 under par.
Little bit of a sluggish front nine for highlights, but we really have flipped the switch just in the first 4 holes of the back.
Fredy said, "Don't count me out. I want a birdie also."
And that leaves Heimburg to complete the what?
To complete the diamond frame here. Let's see if we can get it.
Buddy.
Oh, no. Calvin didn't get the memo for the putts on the back nine so far. Maybe he'll get it here on 14.
Hole 14. Levels, Jerry. We're going to throw onto this shelf of the driving range, and there's an out-of-bounds line both above and below it. With the elevated basket and the crosswind, this is about the most exposed green on the course. I expect to see 4 backhand hyzers to try to get smashed down by the wind, and then some tough decisions on how aggressive you actually want to be, even from circle's edge. Well done by Lizotte.
Yeah, that seems like a bit of a scary shot, the way that Lizotte played that. Almost could pack down into that grabby grass and not make it, but played it very well. The inbounds part of this hole is also pretty grabby, as you see Paul not getting much skip there and just going to have a drop-in birdie.
Yeah, he's tired of putting, I think.
That's not a... It's pretty easy to get tired of putting in the wind like this.
Yeah, it does get to be a grind. Like, you've been focusing for 2.5 hours by this point. How do you sustain that, Nathan?
You just got to remember why you're out there. You know, you enjoy doing this. You're out there throwing plastic circles for a living. Putting in some wins, not that bad. You should be able to at least do it smartly.
And good correction from Calvin. Gets himself back to 1 down. And this needs to stop. If that gets to the slope, it's pretty much gone, and there's out of bounds below.
Yeah, luckily it does stop, though. Simon has got 4 in a row.
Yeah, look out. Where did this come from?
Yeah, that wind has died down a little bit. I can't say that has everything to do with it, but certainly seems to have an impact.
Good cleanup for Fredy, and with his dunk, Paul's going to move to 5 down. No style points, but solo first place.
Yeah, and moves us into hole 15. Probably the most fun tee shot on the course, I would say, even without being able to play it. 425-foot downhill. You got backhand hyzer or kind of a forehand flex shot. Keeps you a little safer from the OB. You're able to control the distance a little better that way. But whatever you're most comfortable with to fight the wind, really.
Lizotte with good distance ranging, but too much drift on the shot. And there is out of bounds long, so I imagine that anything coming in with speed needs to be moving probably left to right, which is why this forehand play is so popular. This is pulled over, though. I think it needs to stop. Okay.
It
And
stopped. And then rolled, and then is inside circle 1. He's going to have an opportunity for a turkey and to put him 6 under par.
Heimburg taking the direct line. This is a little scary, but look at it run off the green and nestles at circle's edge inbounds.
Yeah, that was scary the whole time.
I think we need to remember that Heimburg's a Tampa man, so he's used to skirting danger 4 and 5 times a day by choice. Very well thrown by Fredy. Gets himself a putt well inside the circle.
Simon, not enough trees there to guide him towards the basket. Gonna end up missing just a little bit right. Calvin Heimburg, though, back on track. Back-to-back birdies on 14-15. Just kind of hanging in there. Along with Fredy here, just kind of hanging in there. Par golf has been great today, and he's now added his 3rd birdie, not being too aggressive. Just doing what he needs to do and staying clean. He's inside the top 10.
And Paul, solo first place at 6.
Hey guys, Paul McBeth here. If you get a chance, go over to check out paulmcbethfoundation.org. We got some cool projects coming up. You can always use donations, whether it's financial, discs, or even just manpower. Anything helps, so check out paulmcbethfoundation.org.
This looks perfect. Off the basket. Now it's rolling. It's headed for the OB. This needs to sit. Oh my goodness, it's safe. Right on the line. She's going to have about a 30-foot putt for the win. Okay, here we go. The putt is up. Boom, it's in. Strong side with authority. What an incredible moment. Yes.
Hole 16, probably the easiest hole on the course and a viable eagle opportunity with the tailwind. This entire bowl that we're flying over is out of bounds, so we are likely to see either layup plays with a forehand to the right side and then a chip across, or perhaps with the power arms on this card, a little bit of go for it.
I'm going to go backwards one more time. Shout out to Alden Harris carding the ace on hole 15. That's got to be a cool feeling, 425 foot down that hill.
And not having to putt to boot. McBeth smashes inbounds, but pretty far right. Kind of let the crosswind get under that. Vinny with a full rip. And I love the look.
Fantastic. Wow. Oh, man. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, he cut through the OB a couple holes ago. And I don't think you or I have quite the arm speed to still be flying after we've touched anything in the out of bounds.
No.
Good discipline play by Fredy.
Yeah,
Lizotte.
Calvin's still 20 feet long. Coming back for the eagle putt. Lizotte trying to get up there as well.
Happy feet from Catch Cam Dave.
Spinning them all around.
A little bit of an awkward stance for Fredy. He told me he doesn't really want to go to the forehand unless he has to. Seemed like he had to there. But well done.
Yeah, pulled it a little bit off to the left, but looked pretty smooth. Paul just gonna be going for that easy birdie here. This is the easiest hole on the course. By far, averaging at a 3.35. 70% of the field taking birdie or better. Kind of like hole 8. This is your give me hole for the back nine.
All right. Calvin quickly to 4 down.
Yeah, says you're not giving me anything. I'm gonna take it. Paul, 4 in a row, moves to 7 down, brings us to an interesting hole here. 436 foot par 4. Want to get just around this big tree you see right here, land right here in the middle of the fairway. Gonna be an option to throw over top if you throw in the right spot and spike one in here, or you've got to throw down this tight gap that's 6 to 8 feet wide. 2 placement shots here, 200, 215 feet. Gotta stay in the fairway.
Well thrown by Heimburg. I think it's absolutely essential that you don't get behind here. You got to get clean off the tee, and after your second shot, you need to have attacked the tunnel somehow. You hear that from Simon, impressed with Paul's shot.
Yeah, so he went high and inside of that big tree that you want to land past. Moves pretty far down the fairway. Simon going less aggressive, but has definitely gotten it too straight, showing you why it's such a touchy hole.
Yeah, it's pretty neat after a series of open power holes to have this speed control required.
It's such a different style that it can be hard to adjust that quickly. I know I use, depending on the type of course, if it's a mostly wooded course over a mostly open course, I kind of have a different style of run-up that I use. So it can definitely be tough to make that quick adjustment.
And as a very fresh course, they did a good job clearing out the underbrush, but this gap kind of being widely panned by a lot of players. Speaking of pan, a little flex shot would be ideal from anybody here.
And Paul jump putting a driver, trying to figure out some way to get to this green. Doesn't quite succeed there. He's going to be in circle 2 still.
Good approach from Lizotte. Kind of no harm, no foul. He'll be left with a 10-footer for par.
And again, these difficult stances causing some issue on the green. Paul ending up a little bit left side again there.
Comebacker for par.
Outside circle 1 and ends up just a bit left again. Shows a little bit of frustration about it too.
Yeah, after that drive, Paul takes 4 shots to get another 200 feet.
Thanks everyone for watching. As always, thank you to my sponsors, Millennium, Innova, Squatch, and Flight Factory. Look out for the new Quantum and Helio Vila, and then also be on the lookout for my new signature Squatch bag this spring.
Hole 18, our closing hole. Pretty challenging here. Got to clear this initial green, but that's not really dangerous. This out-of-bounds island is, and then there's another green and bunker. The fairway's going to pinch down considerably with this sidewalk and everything left of it, and then the out-of-bounds stakes to the right. The green slopes right to left, and the second shot is slopes left to right, and the second shot considerably uphill. A little bit of right to left crosswind as well. You see this disc starting to get pulled by it.
Yeah, and it seems like over to the left of that green has been a pretty good landing zone. Kind of opens up your angle into where the basket's at.
And Nathan, this is definitely a hole that makes you play some golf. This first shot you can kind of cheat with power. But after that, you got to decide whether you're going to lay up to the mouth and then throw another 150 or 200 feet in, or try to attack and risk the out of bounds.
And it seems like stats would say a lot of people got aggressive and tried to attack and did not do so that well. Or, you know, just tried to play for par and still weren't quite able to navigate how they wanted to. This was the hardest hole on the course, as 65% of the field took bogey or above on the last hole.
I don't know if the local organizers considered this, but I feel like there's a little bit of spiritual kinship with Maple Hill Hole 18 with that decision-making process and the skinny green.
Yeah, definitely a skinny green. Fredy gets that up a bit too high, but gets, again, I'll call it some Texas love. The branches drop him down inbounds. This does not look good from Paul.
No, that needs a lot of help, but it's going to stay out of bounds left.
And you see Calvin over here left side. A lot more left than Paul was. Almost has a straight shot at it. Doesn't have to have as much turnover, but does have this too high as well.
Yeah, and that straight shot's something that suits Calvin's eye very well. Lizotte, I expect this to be a gentle Anheuser release to flex. And he plays a little bit of hyzer flip. Well thrown. Does also get cut down.
Man, as sloped as this green is, it's pretty nice for all of them to have landed or hit those trees and then not rolled out of bounds.
Yeah, and we've noted it a couple times. Ground play not as severe here as at many other courses. Good effort from Heimburg.
Trying to ring one final birdie up, but he's going to tap in for the par. Fredy Meza to get to 4 under. Doesn't do it, but going to stay inside the bullseye for a clean 3 under par this round. Clean that's got to feel great.
Absolutely. I don't imagine there were very many bogey-free rounds out there. Really enjoyed watching Fredy play. Cool style, and great to see new faces on our feature cards.
Absolutely. And Paul McBeth with the bogey finish, falling back to 5 under par, but still going to be in a tied for the lead, along with Simon Lizotte.
Yeah, so we got to see 3 of the top 5 rounds on this Gatekeeper feature card. There you have it, 5-5, 4 and 3. Really, really good vibes on the card, and we look forward to our chase card for round 2 tomorrow on this Open at Austin course.
Yeah, should be a great time. Eagle McMahon, Calvin Heimburg, Matt Bell, and Ezra Aderhold. Should be a different wind, maybe a little bit warmer as well, so almost brand new layout again, you know, same course design, but going to be different for sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share. For Nathan Queen, I'm Andrew Fish.
And we'll see you guys out there.